Don't you love documentaries? I love them because they're powerful, they open our eyes, expand our minds, and they're stories that need to be told.
And I love documentaries because they're the best shortcut to being the smartest person in the room. And they do all the research, they create powerful stories, and I get to impress everyone at dinner parties.
Well, exactly. I mean, it's like being the person in a group project that did nothing but gets the A.
Oh, were you an A student?
No, that's why we're both here. But let's get to this stuff.
Good. You're good. Sorry, you've been recording.
You've been recording.
Yeah.
That's nice. Hi, I'm Jared McFadden, and this is going to be a documentary about my life. It's going to be some ups, some downs. It's going to be a roller coaster ride to listen to, and I'm about to very much be very open and honest and vulnerable here with you guys today. So, yeah, sit back and enjoy the ride. But first, let me introduce the people who are going to be a part of this documentary. Take it away, guys.
Hello, my name is Jordan Avery McFadden, and I am Jared McFadden's older brother.
I am Diane McFadden, and I am Jared's stepmom.
Hi, hello, my name is Salvador Rojas. I'm currently 24 years old, and Jared is one of my good friends since, I want to say, what, 7th, 6th grade, I want to say? Is that much? Oh, shit, it's okay.
My name is Adrian. I'm 25. My connection to Jared is he's a long-term friend.
My name is Alexia Martinez, and I met Jared at Bible study, and he's just amazing, and he loves the Lord, and I love the Lord, and I feel like that is the most powerful connection you can have.
Oh man. Hi. So, I'm Roosevelt. Can we restart?
Just keep going. I'm editing it anyways.
Okay. So, I'm Roosevelt. 20 years old. I met Jared through an acquaintance.
My name is Julio Pacheco. I'm 23 years old, and Jared is a friend of mine. We met through a club on campus on the campus of Hancock called The Crew. We just started talking and connected and became friends after that.
Cool, thank you. That's like the list of people that are going to be in. So far, I want to start off asking a certain question. So here's a question for you guys right now.
There's a lot, but I would have to say his imagination.
Outgoing.
Very outgoing.
Outgoing.
Genuine.
Right?
His creativity.
Creative.
Another word that I would describe him. Oh, shit, what's the word?
Goofy.
Loving.
Kind.
And unapologetic.
Accountable.
Not, could you pause it? Pause.
Oh, no, keep going.
Fuck, okay.
No. Okay, now.
The life of the party.
I would say his energy, but in the sense that he's always in good spirits and always has energy to give. Kind of like an Energizer bunny, I would say.
Ready to go.
Damn, I can't even say nonchalant, because you do care about people. Black. No, I know, but that's like common shit, you know?
I know, I'm kidding.
Very dedicated and family-oriented.
Since when?
Full of life.
And alienated.
Oh.
But yeah, add loyal too, that's 4 words. Ooh, extra credit. Well, my first perspective about Jared was, who the fuck is this guy? He was very tall, so to me, at that time, he was a skyscraper. Felt kind of intimidated, you know? I was short. But then came along more time, and like from there on, we just started to talk more, and we like started to get along. We had like, you know, a lot of, you know, good conversations. It was never boring. Which then that led up to the fact that, hey, you know, like I should have not, you know, like judged in a way, you know, being saying like, hey, who is this guy, without realistically even getting to know him. I'm really glad that that we had more conversations and stuff to get to know each other, because genuinely he's really a nice guy, and he just wants the best for every individual, you know.
My first impression of him was like, I didn't know what to think about him. I hanging out with some other people from a distance, and we didn't actually get to meet until the other person introduced us. But overall, I had seen him like running up and down, like playing with some other people. They're playing some game or something, and yeah, that's
My first impression.
let other people know.
I was like, whenever someone asks me for first impression, I'm like, I'm always in La La Land. I don't even know what I was thinking. I was probably thinking about what I was gonna eat. My first impression of Jared, I thought you were like one of the sweetest people ever, because it was at Bible study, and you were just talking about spreading light and smiling to people and not knowing what people are going through. And I just thought, wow, he has the light of Jesus in him. Praise the Lord. Thank you for this new human that I get to know.
My first impression of Jared. He was annoying. Came across a bit bossy. We met under tough circumstances, so yeah, he rubbed me the wrong way, or I should say, the whole situation made him rub me the wrong way.
The first impressions I had of Jared was I thought he was like a very serious person, because I just said hi, and the way his tone and the way that he said like hi, he seemed very like serious. So I just thought he was like maybe quiet and serious the first time.
My impression of Jared has definitely changed. He's blunt. He's real. He's very direct, in other words, and I like that about people. Bluntness.
It did change over time, because Jared's just, he's out there, you know, he sticks out. Yeah, it did change.
Cool. It's really heartwarming to know what people think of me and stuff, because you know, sometimes you don't really know what people are thinking of you or think about you and stuff like that until you get to know them and everything. And you guys, people in conversations don't really talk much about it. It's not like you're just gonna sit down and be like, hey, so like what words would you describe me, and have a conversation about it. But I'm very heartwarming, and thank God for the people who just said those kind of things about me. That just reminds me that I am doing, that I'm loved, and just doing my very best in it. But shall I get started in the beginning? I was actually born not breathing, so ever since the beginning of even my life, I can say with me being a religious person in my own self, because I am a believer that the devil has always tried to stop me in ways. He stopped me since the day I was born. I was born not breathing, and they had to call code 8 on me. And thank God I'm still here. I survived that. And if I can survive that, then I guess I can survive every other challenge that comes along. You would think, but I have. I was born blind in one eye after the code blue, and I'm not sure if it's because of the lack of oxygen, that I ended up losing eyesight. That's not really clear to me. I just know that I was born blind in one eye.
What was Jared like as a child? He was very friendly, always active, and he loved to make up stories. And brother, and he played baseball and soccer for a bit, and he just loved being around people. Ups and downs that Jared had to go through growing up. Well, he's blind in one eye, and that was not only physically challenging, but adjusting as a child to being different. However, his personality is outgoing, and he really tried his very best to compensate.
Yeah, growing up for both of us, I mean, Jared and I, in terms of what his childhood was like, I would say it was a good childhood. Nothing about it was easy, per se. Growing up, we lived in essentially what would be close to Section 8 housing. We were raised by a single mother. Father was around, but they weren't together, so he wasn't quite part of the picture, like a normal family would have. Yeah, but she provided everything that she could for us. Oftentimes, we had clothes on our back, we had a roof over our head, and food in our mouth. Yeah, our childhood, I think, luckily my mom was a free spirit of sorts and allowed us to, even though we didn't have the best circumstances or live in the best part of town, she let us explore and run around the neighborhood as kids. Jared, as a child, was full of energy, yeah, bright-eyed, charismatic, had a unique imagination, since as far as I can remember. Loved to be around people, inadvertently loved to be the center of attention in a way, just because I think that's like the aura and energy that he's always carried. I think that with that charisma, he knew how to get people's attention. Yeah, and he used that to his benefit, whether that was, dancing or singing or cracking a joke, running around like a madman. I think that, that was those were some of the characteristics that I would say he carried from a child and up until now.
So in 6th grade, I had a teacher, Mr. Spear. I love Mr. Spear so much. His name is Bob Spear, so you can understand where I get a certain thing from. But I love him so much. He was my brother's teacher first, but then I got him in 6th grade, and he used to help him sell nachos and little ice and pops during recesses that he would love to do. And as much as he yelled at me a lot, but I know he yelled at me because he knew I had a lot more potential, because he told me that himself. He used to like get on me so much, like a father figure. He used to do these things in class where he made us do short stories when we were younger. That we had to pick 3 topics that he would say out loud, and we would have to choose those topics and then choose what to write about. And so at that time, though, I didn't want to just write about random things. I ended up getting inspired and I put in characters. I always liked the name Daphne from Scooby-Doo, which I mentioned earlier. And so I just created a Daphne Aguilar, which is a character in my storybook. I used to have. In 1st grade, I had this imaginary friend. Her name is Tina. I had her because I didn't have a friend. With that being said, just growing up, I always had a difficult being blind and had a struggle of just fitting in, and like I didn't really have friends, which is why I created my imaginary friend in 1st grade for it. And Tina was always the best. I always remember riding in the car rides and looking out the window and just be like, Tina's following us in her car, and always pretending that she was getting hurt, which makes me feel like I have psychological problems at the time, but who knows.
Me and Jared met through, I guess I wanted to say, like, a girl that I was really interested in. So that's how I really met Jared. It was at the time where like I was like kind of talking to this girl in a way. I really never even kind of knew about him or anything like that until really like until like I was starting to get a little bit more serious with this person that I was kind of talking to in that phase. So that's really how I met Jared, which is kind of awesome.
The best part that came out of that relationship.
Jared to me is a very good friend that I say if you ever would need something or need help with anything at all, I feel like he'll be one of those friends that you'd be able to go ahead and have that trust to go ahead and, you know, either tell him something that is going wrong with your life or other things like that, you know.
From what I can remember, me and Jared we met at a different neighborhood. Well, we met in his neighborhood, and I was hanging out with some of my older friends. I was skating in that time, and I just happened to come across some other friends that I knew that were hanging out with him, and that's how we met. What's special about our friendship is that we've known each other for like more than 5 years now. So like he's watched me growing up, and I watched him growing. So anything we say, we gotta really back it up and do it, because Jared ain't gonna let nothing slide that you say. He's gonna remember that, try to pick you back up, and you know, shoot for the stars together. That's how I see it. We shoot for the stars together, and we do our best to not give up. What I admire about Jared is his loyalty to friendship.
Yeah.
A lot of things have stayed the same. Only thing is now he's like actually going after it and actually like doing what he can to get closer to those things that he's always like dreamed of and aspired to be.
I really feel like something that that has played a part in our friendship is that whether regardless if we're 1 mile away, 10,000 miles away, we still know who we are within each other, and as of friends. There's never there's never a moment in each of ours mind that kind of, you know, that like, you know, maybe this guy's trying to like, you know, like trying to pray for my downfall or something like that, you know. I feel like we're always there, you know, we're always there, whether if it's for like talking and stuff like that. And I feel like that's really a key point that has played in our friendship a lot.
That's right.
I feel like some of the struggles that I witnessed throughout our friendship was one, people always, you know, never give them the benefit of doubt, which is in that case like first impressions. I feel like a lot of people really kind of like never really gave him the chance to go ahead and get to know him, because, you know, like just like the way how he looked in a way, and I didn't, you know, I never liked that, you know. Whether regardless, you can't really, you know, judge someone just by looking at them, which unfortunately I kind of did in the beginning of my statement, but I'm glad that, you know, I gave the opportunity.
After I got to know about Jared's story, who he is, spending time with him, I really got to know him as a person. Jared is a man of God who doesn't put up with evil. He's not afraid to call out evil when there's evil. I would say he's very tender-hearted. He's very compassionate. He's a very loyal friend. Very caring. And yeah, I would say that's how I've seen Jared now that I've gone to him.
I think you're immensely important to my life because you are such a beautiful reflection of God's love. The way you treat people, the way you talk to everyone with kindness and respect and with gentleness, and you're just honest and straight up. So you're a really beautiful example to me, truly.
He's definitely played a part. He's helped me become more direct, considering that he's very direct.
Jeepers, creepers, where you get those keepers?
It's only because of his uncle.
Jared presents himself authentically, and definitely someone I believe I
Now he's
can
adopting
help.
it.
I would have probably went crazy just like everyone else probably did. I did not stay inside during COVID, by the way. I was outside dancing in the streets and living my life because I was like, if we're gonna die, I'm gonna die happy. But I did, my last event was a red carpet at the 2020 Grammys and the after party, and I did some amazing things. But then COVID hit and kind of shut that down, and went a little as far as 2021 hit. I was at Dream Creator Studios as an intern towards the end of 2020, and then I was doing the Industry Network event again the beginning of January until my dad ended up getting COVID, and he ended up in the hospital.
The death of his father was a huge loss for our family and for Jared, of course. And Jared has tried and worked really hard within himself to recover from that and move forward. I'm very proud.
Yeah, give me a sec because it's gonna be hard to talk. But he ended up in the hospital, and then like he was doing fine and he was recovering fine, and then he apparently had an unknown heart condition that they didn't catch until the day he died, and the day he was supposed to be released is the day he died, and that's what I've learned in that. And I got a call 4 minutes before my virtual performance that my dad has passed away, and that hit like a bag of bricks to the face. And I couldn't believe it, and everything just shattered at that moment. I literally felt my heart drop into my stomach, and I couldn't breathe, and I was hysterically crying. I could not believe to hear that, because my dad is a strong person and he wasn't meant to die. He wasn't supposed to go. I know he wasn't supposed to go so soon. But I had a performance I had to put on, so I sucked it up, and I still went in and put on the show.
Jared recently, not too long ago, his father passed away, and Jared had to deal with his friendships and handling that, and just dealing with difficult people, and Jared growing growing in who he is as a person, and just having to let go of past friendships, because Jared wants to continue to grow and surround himself with better people that will influence him in a better way. I would say that Jared is the best at, I'd say, dancing. The way Jared kind of just listens to a song and just kind of just jams out and just starts, making up his moves as he dances. I would say dancing, definitely. There's more. I would add more things, but the best thing I would say Jared is definitely dancing and singing.
He's got different aspirations from everyone else, like way bigger. So he's got to remember that he's not just the average caliber guy. He's actually, bumping up his skills more than the average person, in my opinion, in certain things. So he's got to remember that he's built for something different. It'd be different if I never met Jared. I don't know if that'd be good or bad, but I think that having Jared in my life is more good than bad. So I would say definitely be different. I probably wouldn't be coming to school. So yeah, that's what I think.
our friendship will never change. It's family. It's locked in. All right.
Even if we bitch at each other.
Yeah. Even if we get mad at each other, it's locked in. It's locked in. You know. If he's mad,
I ain't talking to you for a week.
nah. If he's mad, you know what, Jared? Go to sleep. I'll see you tomorrow.
Go home. Go home. What are you doing here? All right, go hide in the shadows.
Yeah.
Black guy.
You know, close your eyes. I can't see you. Close your eyes, so I can't see you.
Close my eyes. You have to close your eyes.
No.
You said yeah.
No, you. Because you're black.
Looking at the sun.
Because you're black, so you can hide in the shadows.
Exactly, but you gotta close your eyes so you can't see me.
No.
You'll see black. You got it right, bro.
Nah, I'll be thinking that's my shadow.
Like we're Hannah Montana and Harper.
Girl, what are you talking
Oh
about?
my God, I mixed up Hannah Montana and Wizards of Waverly Place.
And I was talking about Lizzie McGuire.
I know.
Pete Saint.
I think we're Lizzie McGuire and Miranda because even though they're not together in the Lizzie McGuire movie, they reunite. And just how me and Jared didn't know each other at first, once we knew Christ, we knew each other. And after the Lizzie McGuire movie, they reunited. So
Hold on. No, they did not.
The dual connection of Jared and I is like Shrek and Donkey. So, Shrek.
I'm Donkey, right?
Yeah, you're Donkey.
I was like, I'm feeling. He said, yeah,
I'm
that's right.
Shrek.
The characters, I would say that Donald Duck and Goofy.
Come on, Donald. Of course, Donald.
And also probably like Drake and Josh, because every time Jared and I we depart our both ways, it's always like, hug me, brother. So I would say that, yeah.
Hug me, brother.
I just admire just Jared as a very kind person. I said it before, he's very tender-hearted, so he's very caring and compassionate, and I admire him for that. And I think, on that note, my last words of advice for Jared would be to stay grounded. Take care of yourself so that you can take care of your dreams, because if you don't, then you're not going to have a dream to chase. And I say that because, Jared's still growing up. And I think that with maybe theater, or this is what I'm thinking right now, with theater, the things that he wants to be. I live in LA County, right? And so many people come out here and want to chase their dreams and end up getting lost in a false image of what that is or what it's supposed to be. So I think that more often than not, my advice to him would be just to stay grounded, remember who you are, and take care of your priorities first, and make sure that business is taken care of at home and within yourself, and then the dreams will only compound on that. So I think staying grounded, staying humble, and remaining vigilant is the advice that I would have for him moving forward.
Any last things that all of you should know about Jared? So my advice to Jared would be not to be hesitant to do the hard things in life, because some of the best qualities come from being brave. And the other thing I would say, and I've kind of told him this, I think, a couple times, but self-reflection and forgiveness are superpowers. I love you, Jared. Thank you for asking me to share in your project.